So I'm going to expose this state right now, because I think we missed the boat. We missed the boat. This was a great state at one point, but with all the migration data that in the 2000s, man, everybody flooded this state. It used to be for your grandma, you know, it boasts the no income tax, affordability, the warm weather, until you move there and you realize, man, Florida may not be so great, and it's actually draining my wallet faster than any big city would. And we're going to get right into the migration data to let you know what's really going on in the state of Florida, why people are still moving in there, and who's still moving in there, and who's getting the hell up out of Florida. So let's get right into it now. So Florida continues to see and attract a significant amount of new residents. That's not going to change. There's a lot of people that, compared to New York, right? I'm definitely going to Florida. I'm going to find some real value, especially coming from a high expensive state like that, New York, California. You're always going to see that. But approximately in 2023, Florida welcomed approximately 940,000, almost a million new residents, with New York leading the domestic sources, followed by Georgia and California. Notably, international migration played a substantial role, accounting for about 45% of new residents, highlighting Florida's global appeal. So there's a different amount of people coming in domestically. However, you're getting a huge number coming in from the globe, from around the globe. While Florida's net migration remains positive still, the gap between incoming and outgoing residents is narrowing right now. So in 2023, over 510,000 people left. They're leaving in droves. They left the state, marking the highest of outbound movement since 2008. When I said we missed the boat, if you remember the mid-90s, if you're too young to remember or whatever, but if you remember the mid-90s to about maybe 2005, that was like the highlight of Florida. I remember there were commercials on TV in the 90s that says, you know what? Buy land in Florida, it's cheap. But when we thought of Florida, we only thought about grandmas and grandpas and golf courses and, what's that show with the Golden Girls? That's all we thought about Florida. And of course, Mickey Mouse. We never really thought about living there, but there was an explosion that occurred within the early 2000s where people are like, you know what? I'm going to go down for the weather. I'm going to go down for this. I'm going to go down. The younger crowd started migrating there. Young families, remote workers, or whatever the case, that started to change the dynamics of Florida. But in 2023, 500,000 people left, and they're going to Georgia. They're going to North Carolina. They're going to Tennessee. What do these states have? They're offering lower costs, and in some cases, they're offering no income tax, like in the case of Tennessee. So they're finding that these three things are really shaping Florida's exit plan, right? It's the rising living costs. Florida's housing market has seen a significant price increase, with home values up 47% from 2020 to 2023. Insurance challenges. We all know what Florida faces come around August, September, October especially. This is hurricane season. This is what's going to go down in Florida. Insurance challenges. Homeowners face escalating insurance premiums, averaging over $4,200 annually due to climate-related risks. Some of that is just, rebuild, destroy, burnout. People are tired. After 2 times, you've been through this, you're like, man, I don't necessarily have to go through this anymore. And then on top of it, with the rising insurance costs, people are finding better value elsewhere. Natural disasters. The state's susceptibility to hurricanes and flooding adds to the financial and emotional burden on residents. So yeah, people are getting tired of it. So these factors contribute to some residents considering Florida as their long-term home, despite continued allure by newcomers. And again, 45% of the people that we're seeing come into Florida are from different countries, right? They're not even from the States. So let's talk about it. State is great, right? It boasts no income tax. Is it a bait? Is it a bait or a switch? Is it gonna work for me or is it ain't? Home insurance is exploding. The average premiums, as we mentioned, $4,200 a year, and that's just on average. The climate risk, constant hidden costs, because you got flood zones, you got HOAs, you got evacuation zones, you got all of that you got to think about. You got the median home prices rising fast, especially in affordable metros. No longer affordable. You're getting priced out of those affordable metros. Property taxes plus insurance plus HOA. You know what that is? That's like a death by 1,000 cuts of a razor sharp blade coming at your neck. Okay, that's what that is. So it's still marketed as a budget-friendly freedom state. And you know, around here at Strizzy Report, we love freedom state, but often that's not true. So this state gets all the headlines, as we mentioned. And the sunny weather, the beaches, the freedom messaging, lots of pro-remote work talk and inbound migration. But when we dig into the marketing, when we look at the data, we realize that the numbers don't lie, that the hidden costs are stacking up. So if you don't know, now you know that Florida has their premiums for their home insurance are the highest in the country. Okay, did you know that? On 2024, the average, what we said, is 4,200, but that's climbing. That's climbing. Climate risk. Many homes require flood plus windstorm insurance separately. So in places like Tampa, Fort Myers, and the Panhandle, it's not unusual to pay an extra $400 to $600 a month just in insurance. What about these HOAs, man? Florida is known for these HOAs. I think sometimes they're the biggest scams. You know, of course, you don't want to, maybe go mow you have to keep your lawn mowed, but you can't do certain aspects of your own home. You purchased this home for 450,000. You can't do everything. The HOA really controls everything that goes on in the community, and you're paying them sometimes a crazy premium. Many affordable homes are in the HOA communities in Florida. Average HOA fees, they range from $300 to $600 a month, some even higher. If you're in Florida, let me know if this is right or wrong. Let me know if this data is checking out. It's okay. We could engage. We could talk. Older homes, though, they need constant upkeep in Florida's climate because of the humidity, the mold, the pest control. You have to make sure that you have the funds to ensure your house is maintained. Special assessments for condo owners after disasters or new legislation, example like Surfside condo collapse aftermath. These things, you have to keep up with these special assessments, okay? Your cheap home can easily come with a $700 plus in extra monthly costs that you didn't plan for, you're not prepared for, you didn't think about, you didn't uncover the data for. So I just wanted to give you that. So let's talk about hidden costs, another part where you're gonna maybe drain your wallet here if you don't think about it. Property tax rates, property taxes, it's average in Florida, but appraisals are jumping due to the demand. Okay. Local counties and municipalities are raising recovery and infrastructure. Okay. Median home prices in Orlando, Sarasota, and Palm Coast are outpacing income growth. So if you think that, that's another thing, that people don't look at their income and see how much their income has grown with how much the speed of the cost of living has grown. If you're in a place where the speed of that is way faster and creating a huge gap between your income, you have to take a look at that. We have to check that out. So if you're moved thinking that you're getting a deal, but you're carrying costs grow every year. So who does Florida actually work for? It's a beautiful state. I've been to Florida countless times. At one point, I actually wanted to move to Florida, but that dream has since turned into a nightmare for me. I no longer think about Florida. Florida is still one of the freedom states, but it does have its challenges. These high costs in, let's say, Miami, Tampa, all these hotspot areas, it's just not worth it, okay? You could get sunshine elsewhere for cheaper, right? Florida isn't a bad place, and I don't want to knock those that are like, man, I had Florida on my list forever. What the, you know, but it's a bad blind move if you're not prepared, right? If you're retired with no mortgage, you may be insulated and you could feel some of the pain and the pressure, and it bounce off of you like kryptonite. It's not gonna affect you if you're not Superman, okay? But for remote workers, for families, for first time home buyers, it's a risk. It's a little risky without real reward if you don't plan for the true cost. And understanding what the true costs are, you could plan for a better move, and it turns out to be a smarter move. And this is exactly why I created the Smart Movers Club, to give you data like this so you can make a better decision, a more informed decision. And you can use this data, go look it up, go fact check it, go make sure that it's correct, and you could move with understanding and knowing what's in front of you, what's ahead of you. And that's how you move smarter, baby. And I appreciate you watching this episode. If you're in Florida, tell me what you're seeing. People are getting up out of there. And I know they're going to South Carolina, baby. I saw that in another report. But understand who's coming in, and the big bulk of people that are coming in aren't even from the United States. So let's go. Peace.